Great. So I have with me Palash Vaswani, who directed season 2 and season 3 of Gulak, as well as the first season. I think there'll be another of Bada Naam Karega on Sony Live. So congratulations, Palash. Very well done. I really enjoyed it. It sort of has a certain old world charm, which is very
Yes.
well charming. So congratulations. Tell me
Thank you
a
so
little
much.
about yourself and how have you managed to capture this unique space, the small town, somewhat old world, family
Uh,
values? It's a very unique space, and you seem to have sort of captured that very well. Talk a little about yourself.
so Kaveri, see, I am basically not from any film school or I've not studied film. I am from Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and I was born in Gwalior. And we belong to a middle class family, and then every middle class family, there was no pressure on me from my parents कि engineer बनना है, ऐसा कुछ करना है. But I was part of the rat race because I was good in maths. And I went there and I did my engineering and I realized and
Where
I
did
landed
you,
job.
where did you, where did you do your engineering?
I did my engineering from MIT Manipal. I did my
Oh,
engineering
acha.
from MIT Manipal, and then I landed a job at Infosys. And
Oh,
I was thrown out of Infosys in 4 months because I didn't pass the exam. You might have heard the news yesterday, no? कि Many
right.
people, yeah, I was one of them in 2006.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, and then I
So
realized,
you joined, and then they have another exam, right?
they have another exam. They have another exam,
Right.
and I joined, and I was a pretty, decent student in my school days. Also, I was, a good student in engineering. Also, I did decent. I passed out of, I got 75% marks. मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि what is happening to me, why I'm not able to, clear that Infosys का that rat race, and it was too much on me, and I was not able to figure out where I belong at that time, and that was
But
the reason.
why do you think, in retrospect, why do you think you weren't able to clear that exam, the emphasis exam?
So I think also that was a calling, but why I realized, to precisely answer your question, uh, when I was, I was asked to leave Infosys, and I went out, and it was a very low phase for me. I was figuring out what to
I'm
do, and
sure. Yeah.
it was my first job, and from small town, parents are so happy, you have landed your first job at
Right.
Infosys, and that time Infosys used to be that, your gateway to America. You go there, earn in
Yeah.
dollars, and those sort of career. And then, of course, that MBA thing, जो मैंने सोचा हुआ था, a typical route. But I realized somehow I'm not able to fit in, and then I realized what I used to enjoy in my college days was I was part of a lot of extracurricular activities. I used to, run
Right.
a film club. I used to run a photography club. I was, very active in dramatics. And then going back again to my childhood, I realized that when I was a kid, I used to take my father's handycam and I used to make movies. I had made a lot of movies with my father's handycam. वो खुद ही edit करके, my sister used to run with me with a छोटा सा tape recorder with a BGM. तो I did not
Right.
know editing क्या होता है क्या. तो so I sort of realized that I like this space and I want to be part of this, somewhere, something creative that I need to do. And I used to make my own comic books also. पलाश सीरीज के
Acha.
नाम से ऐसा तो आई वाज अ किड देन आई गॉट टू नो अबाउट एनआईडी अहमदाबाद एंड आईडीसी आईआईटी बॉम्बे के दो डिजाइन डिपार्टमेंट्स एंड आई प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इट एंड आई गॉट क्लियर्ड इन आईडीसी सो आई डिड माय मास्टर्स फ्रॉम आईआईटी बॉम्बे इन डिजाइन
Oh, oh, wow.
एंड
IT
या
Bombay.
आईआईटी बॉम्बे यस
Okay.
यस यस and that was
Right.
Kaveri, I'll tell you, this was the first exam which I gave without any pressure because I had no pressure. I had already seen the lowest and the failure and everything. So मैं मस्ती से
Right.
गया देने के लिए. मैं एग्जाम दे के आया वहां पे and I scored pretty decent rank all India. Then when I also got the admission after my interviews and those all rounds, those 2 years I used to sit in library and I actually realized what education is. And when you love what you are,
Right.
you're studying,
Yeah.
वहां पे तो we were just mugging and trying to pass the exams. So then I realized this is something I really love. And then I made two animation, all handmade animation films in IIT Bombay. One of the
Oh,
creative from Low Linta saw those films and he called me. So I got
Acha.
that Nariman Point wala Express Stars my office, and he said, "Ki we want you to
Wow.
join." It was such a fancy office. I said yes. So I was a copywriter there for some time.
Acha.
I was writing Live
Okay.
Boy ka films. So that sort of in 2009. So I joined Lolintas.
Oh,
और वहां से the
you
journey
know,
began of me being into creative and figuring out what I
right.
want to do.
Right. Palash, I'm sorry, I just want to go back to the emphasis experience because, when we talk about these things, the
Yeah,
corporate world will tell us, oh, there's a lack of soft skills. These kids come
yeah,
to us and then they're great in their respective colleges, and it could be IIT even. It doesn't really matter.
correct, correct,
But
correct,
they come to
correct.
us and there's a lack of soft skills. So we
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
retrain them again. So exactly what are these soft skills that they keep talking about? Or is it just that you have to be a corporate slave? You have to do as you're told.
See what I felt in those 4 months were we were like totally corporate slaves, and
Yeah,
and there are of course there are this is a seven-star resort which is there at Mysore. We were getting trained at Mysore, and there are
right,
all the facilities, and also half of the fault is at me because I am not a good engineer, so that is also a reason that I was not good. But the other thing was there were when you go there, and for anyone of the person who is joining at any corporate sector, there has to be
right,
something which the environment that makes you feel very alive, that makes you feel very accepted. So
right,
तो मतलब वो बड़ा अजीब सा था वहां पे ना वो सारा सीन सो आई वाज नॉट फीलिंग दैट आई बिलोंग टू दिस प्लेस एंड there was this fire drill and lakhs of us we suddenly came to the ground and
came
because it
out.
was a mock fire drill and then I saw every one of us in the tie and then it was a realization ki, oh, what am I doing here because I am not able to understand what is happening मतलब there is a grass and there is a dialogue we I put in गुल्लक कि वो घास होती है लेकिन घास में चपरासी चलने नहीं देता so that
हाँ,
because that
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
that that happened in the Infosys मतलब इतनी लश ग्रीन घास हम उसमें चल ही नहीं सकते थे मतलब we have to walk on the footpath so you feel like there is grass I मैं नंगे पैर जाऊं पैर चप्पल उतारूं जूते
Yeah,
उतारूं I should
yeah.
stand on it and but we were not allowed so these were things मतलब which were not very I had not a good experience over there.
Because Prahlad, just to go back again, because this whole idea of the 80-hour week, 90-hour week, actually the mask is now off corporate India. This is
Yeah.
actually what they want. They want you to shut up and just do your work, come to office, do
Yeah,
as you're told. I think
correct.
that is given this whole, very fancy title of lack of soft skills. But actually, I think that's what they mean. Just
Yeah,
do as you're told.
yeah. And
Mostly.
yeah, I totally agree because if we feel that place belongs to me and I am
Yeah,
someone और हो सकता है कि I am being trained at certain Java और ये but there are
जी,
my other skills also. Is there
right,
something for me to own those skill या कुछ करूँ वहां पे कुछ so those things are not there there has to be balance there has to be if there is work if I'm supposedly into corporate work then there has to be something to balance it but fortunately
right,
for me in the industry what I love is what is also my profession
right.
so for 70 cam
So,
we are giving 100 hours but it is what we love
but
it
it's
is
what
like
you
out
want
of
to
pure
do.
passion
Yeah,
yes yes yes
exactly.
yes
So
because
from
nobody
low
is forcing us
lintas,
to
then
do it.
low lintas, what was the journey from there?
So Lonelintas, I started as a copywriter, and I was writing a lot of TVCs. Lifebuoy was our main client, and so it was also figuring out when I was passing out from IIT Bombay, and it's a design school, so it's not a film school.
Right,
So अब वहाँ पे the good part, what I feel very happy about is that I had no clue about what master shots are, no technicalities or treatment, और मुझे
right,
कुछ भी नहीं पता था. So it was my own language that I developed in even in my those animation short films. So when I came out, I thought ki, because I had written those films that I enjoy writing. So I started writing, and then I realized I can be a good writer when I write for myself. I can take my own
right.
sweet time, but professionally I might not be that good. And even if you're also made to write brochures and all those things,
Yeah,
then
it's not the same.
yeah. So for 2.5 years, I was there in Lolintas, and then I was, actually, it's a very good place, and even Sagar, who was my boss, Sagar Kapoor, he was very, very supportive of me. So he said, Palash, if you want to figure out what you want to do, just be here. और जब तुझे लगता है तब तू आराम से निकलना. There is no rush. मतलब we totally understand what we are trying to, figure out in your life. And then in IIT Bombay, my professor and HRD ministry, they were together starting a project called D-Source, and they needed one sort of one-man army who can direct documentaries and who can record them, write them, shoot them. वैसा पूरा इंडिया घूम के on Indian handicrafts and artisans. So I sort of, I liked that thing, and he called me, and then I realized that
Oh,
I should go
nice.
there. So then for 4 years, I was working with HRD Ministry in IIT Bombay and
Oh,
making a lot of documentaries on how, artisans. And I was there in Lahore Spiti for 1.5 months, in Bhuj and in the jungles of Chhattisgarh. Bastar mein main kafi tha, Narayanpur and those belts. I was staying with
yeah,
those terracotta artists and bell metal
right.
artists. It was such a lovely experience for me, traveling. And when I got the time, I also realized that I was doing everything. I was shooting it also, I was writing it also, I was doing the music also. And then I realized I love everything actually. So I am unable to figure out. So, and I made two, when I got the time, I made two short films during those
Acha.
4 years. And those short films got very, very good reception. उनको काफी अच्छा reception
Okay.
मिला. One, तो film got released at PVR Directors Rare में एक शुरुआत का interval करके एक anthology थी. So one of film was my short film. तो लगा कि नहीं ठीक ठाक लोगों को कम्युनिकेट कर ले रहा हूँ मैं ना यो डायरेक्शन में.
Yeah.
देन आई फिगर आउट कि अच्छा मुझे डायरेक्शन करना बिकॉज मुझे सब करने में मजा आता है. एंड दिस वाज इन 2014. एंड इन 2014 EVF was becoming big at that time. And earlier there used to be some 10, 12 guys who were making something viral, या उनका permanent roommates आ गया था and pictures was happening. So they
Oh,
contacted me because also of the IT background कि Palash, why don't you join us? कि you are good. Then I joined TVF. मैं वहां चला गया. For 7 years I was at TVF, working with them. And
wow.
post Gullak 3, then I moved out of TVF.
Right. So, what all did you do with TVS?
TVF में I directed 2 seasons of Gullak. Before that,
Good
I
luck.
also
Yeah.
directed one show called Cheesecake. I still, love that show. It was on MX Player. I feel that MX was not a good place for that because MX has certain kind of audience at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
a show about a dog and a couple. A dog enters into this couple's life and how through dog they, rediscover their love back. It was
How
that
nice.
story.
Yeah.
So it was a very
But
lovely story and it was
it
very.
doesn't seem very MX player like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was the reason it had got all good IMDb rating, everything, but it didn't find the audience at MX ka platform.
Right.
And we were very excited about yeah, we made such a cute story, but very close to my heart, it didn't work out. So you also get to learn a lot from your own, failures. कि यार मेहनत बहुत करी थी, बहुत दिल से बहुत करीब था, सब अच्छे से किया. Why didn't it work out? We don't know. So, and before that, I was directing a lot of short videos for TVF. Those used to be those branded sketches. I was also the associate director in Permanent Roommate season 2. तो ये बहुत सारा
Yeah.
ये 6-7 साल तक ये सब चलता रहा था. And post Gullak
Right.
3, then I decided to, I should move out of a company and then I should, be
Right.
on my own
And this is your first gig as
as
a
an
director
independent director
outside. Yeah.
outside. Yes,
Very,
yes, yes, yes.
very nice. What has the experience been like?
Experience have been very, very nice experience as in meeting Surat sir also. And he's such a legendary personality, Surat Barjatya. And I was telling him also that I see what I've learned is when I used to be kid, I used to watch a lot of cinema. और कुछ कुछ
Yeah.
डायरेक्टर है जिन्होंने जिन्होंने आप पे छाप छोड़ी है. आई रिमेम्बर,
Exactly.
आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर वाचिंग मैंने प्यार किया. 6 एट दैट टाइम, 5 or 6 आई
Hmm.
थिंक. इट केम आउट इन 89. आई वाज इन दिस राज टॉकीज इन रायपुर. वो छोटा शहर है वहां. तो अभी भी मैं देखता हूँ तो मुझे पॉपकॉर्न की स्मेल, टेस्ट, वो जो फोम वाली गद्दियां होती है ना उसका एक, तो सिल्वर
Right.
स्क्रीन
Right.
में दैट यूज टू गेट मिक्स विद द स्वेट का
Yeah. Yeah.
स्मेल. So I have those
I
happy
do.
memories. तो I might not, उस टाइम पे स्टोरी शायद से मुझे नहीं समझी होगी कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग ऑन स्क्रीन. बट I could see and I still, feel that community experience that me, my parents, my
Right.
cousins, and we were having together. तो वो छोटे शहर का नॉस्टैल्जिया था. तो इस तरह के कुछ फिल्म मेकर को देख के मैंने बहुत सीखा. उसमें आरजीवी भी एक है, राम गोपाल वर्मा. कि इस तरह की फिल्म मेकिंग भी होती है।
Yeah.
सूरज बढ़ जाते हैं, तो बहुत सारे स्टीवन स्पीलबर्ग, आई फाइंड ही इज नो आई मीन देयर इज लॉट ऑफ इंप्रेशन ऑन हिज मेकिंग आल्सो, ऑन व्हाट आई
Right.
हाउ आई मेक। सो so when I met him, I told him that you are sort of a guru, because this is the reason why I am doing this. I am not from any film school, but I have just learned from observing, and that is the reason I might have uh, made my, or I have my own voice. I know what I want to say. I am still figuring it out, but at least how I want to say it, and what are the stories. Because as you were asking, the small town ka essence, the family ka essence. I've seen, मैं छोटे शहर से हूँ. I've seen these people, and even before Gullak, and even with बड़ा नाम करेंगे, I'll tell you one thing, that there are some things which I did not like पहले, कि यार मिडिल छोटे शहरों को इस तरीके से आप दिखा रहे हो, क्योंकि
Yeah.
earlier they used to show them as a caricature, and
Hmm.
either they are with guns and doing some violence, or caricaturish है. तो हम यार वहां पे हम भी, वी आर इंटेलिजेंट पीपल, वी डोंट, उतनी सहूलियतें नहीं है हमारे पास, वी डोंट हैव दोज मच फैसिलिटीज व्हिच a big town might have, but just show them in the correct light, and they are trying to change. Even the middle class, they are trying to change, they are trying to adapt, they are trying to learn. So can we be
Yeah.
the correct representation of that class? Even with Bada Naam Karenge, what I did was, so when I ever used to watch any film, and we there is a certain type of how we show these rich people in the films.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this might be true, but these are only मतलब point percent of India, and we consume them through phones and paps. मैं किसी को नहीं जानता इस तरह के रईस को, आई डोंट नो. बट क्या मैं रईसों को जानता हूँ? मैं जानता हूँ, जो मेरे क्लास में पढ़े हैं, जो मेरे दोस्त हैं. दे आल्सो बिलियनर्स, दे आर फ्रॉम स्मॉल टाउन, बट दे आर ट्रेडिशनली रूटेड पीपल, एंड देयर आर फ्रेंड्स, उनके घर जाते हैं. तो क्या मैं उन लोगों की कहानी बता सकता हूँ जिनको आई नो? सो आई डोंट नो
And
सर्टन.
their net worth must be more than a lot of the people who are
Ex-
packed every day.
Exactly. Exactly. If you go to Indore and these places, they are like, they have
Yeah,
huge
the
bungalows.
Haldirams and the
Yeah,
Bikaner
yeah,
walas.
yeah, yeah. And we have studied. I have friends. So I have friends in school. I have a very close friend who are from a very lower middle class, of society. And I had a friend who was a billionaire, but we all studied together and we were friends. Can I show them also in correct light? That was the whole idea. Also in Bada Naam Karenge, the thing that connects with me, कि यार पलाश ये कुछ करने को मिलेगा ऐसा रिलेटिविटी का, तो इट एक्साइट्स मी.
No, no, I think that really comes across because it doesn't look fake. It doesn't look as if there's someone who's never been to a
Yeah,
small town, you know?
yeah.
Uh,
So we have seen those
what,
people. We have
yeah,
lived with them.
like, like your lead character's friend, everybody
Yeah,
has a friend like that who, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
um,
Correct, correct,
you
correct,
may not
correct,
meet
correct.
him every day, but when you go back, you suddenly become friends with him again, just
Yes,
fall
yes,
into
yes,
that.
yes, yes.
And I think the young woman and her aspirations, even the course
Yeah,
that she's doing, so
yeah.
very, very nice. So, what has the reaction been of your own family? I wonder. What do your parents do?
My father was a merchant navy engineer. Now he's retired.
Hmm.
And my mother, she was a homemaker.
Okay. I
And
wonder what they
as
feel. Yeah.
they felt very good actually. And my father, he's a hardcore as a action wala fan, so he is not emotional at all, like Indian men are, at
Yeah.
particularly at the father's age. But he got very moved by the. He was crying in the finale, and he got very
I'm
moved.
sure. Yeah.
And my mother also felt very proud, and Palash ki there is some uh, correct representation, and there is some sensitivity to how I'm trying to tell a story, because on the forefront it is a love story. वो एक लड़का लड़की प्यार करते हैं, but actually the story is about these two generations who are trying to talk to each
Right.
other. They
Right.
want to communicate that how can we be with each other, we can accommodate each other, we can understand each other, and
Yeah.
trying to, because everyone, मतलब आप देखिए छोटे शहर में भी, इवन व्हेन दे हैव, कुछ भी हो सकता है, चाहे वो प्यार हो, चाहे वो एम्बिशन हो, the kids are seeking for their parents' validation at the end. They
Yeah.
want that, parents should accept. And there are also some things that parents should learn. So, can I be true to both the worlds and not? villainize any of the generation or anyone in the show. That
Right.
was my main attempt. Yeah,
Oh, very well done. Are you doing season two?
we should be. The response has been phenomenal. The response has been really
Yeah.
good. Not thought much about it, but definitely the talks are on.
Yeah. What next for you, though?
So next is there are two feature films that I'm working on right now, and again both are a little different from what I have done in the shows. जैसे गुल्लक थोड़ा सा family था, it is love and family and little scale. Those two are a little different in genre wise. One is action comedy, and the other is you know a thriller sort of a place where in somewhere in a succession zone where a business family is there, and there are some darker and dirty secrets of those that particular business family, and how they're trying to hide it. So these are the two things that I'm currently working on. But again, both of the stories, my main focus is on there should be, it should be relatable. Even if I'm telling a story of the richest of India, there has to be something which people should connect to. Ki हाँ, and it should be something new as an experience for them.
Very nice. So good to speak to you, Palash. I wish you all the best. And I really enjoyed it. And I have been quite vocal about it. I do
Yes,
hope
yes,
more
yes,
and
sir.
more people watch it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you loving the show
Thank
really
you.
means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kaveri. Thank you so much, Palash.
Thank you.